Real raggy.
Hello, and thank you for joining us along a monumental journey for this podcast as we have officially taken this show from Zoom recording to live in studio. This is the 35th episode as we travel the journey that is full of laughter and shenanigans as we talk everything A7FL Nevada. This is the self-proclaimed second best podcast of the A7FL. This is the other side of the ball. I am the host of this show, as always, KC Cox, and alongside me tonight, as always, my co-hosts. To my right, it is AA Anthony Alvarez.
What's happening?
Scott, the Viking McCorkle.
Gang, gang, what's happening?
And as always, the division manager, Chris Veira.
What up?
How are you gentlemen doing tonight?
Man, I'm feeling lovely.
And again, in this studio for the second time. Hope to be here for a lot more episodes to come. Hope this is the future of this podcast.
Well, like I said last week, is this heaven?
It feels like it.
It feels like it. It looks like it.
Hey, we might be the second best podcast, but we got the nicest freaking
Studio.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, they can't touch
Oh,
us.
the
can't
spread is
touch
outstanding.
No. Can't touch this. Anyway, so tonight, gentlemen, we need to really start off the show and preview this weekend's games that we have. It's monumental for the A7FL Nevada, for the A7FL, totally, as we get ready to move towards the playoffs. But this weekend, we kind of had a shuffle in the schedule. It was going to be the Pitbosses and the Gold playing each other in Las Vegas at Bonanza High School as the first game of the weekend. But instead, we've decided to switch some things up in the division, and we're sending those two teams to California to play the Aces and the Vibe, so that those two teams out of California get a look at different competition.
I like it.
I like that too.
I like it.
But I will say one thing. What it gives us is the Aces are, what are they, 10th?
Yeah, they're
10th ranked?
number 10, yeah.
So gives us an idea. You know, now they're playing somebody else besides Vibe.
It'll give a barometer.
Yeah,
as,
we'll see.
yeah.
We'll see where they really are.
A measuring stick, if you will, for lack of a better term.
Yes, measuring stick, or beaten over the head with a baseball bat, depending on how you look at it.
That too.
I don't know,
And
man.
what happens?
They got a couple of athletes, man. They're gonna give us the teams that we're sending out there. They're gonna give us a run for our money. But I got faith in our boys.
Yep, and these two teams that we have from Vegas are winless, going against a undefeated L.A. team and a team that's lost twice to that undefeated L.A. team.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah,
I mean, really, how do we feel about that?
Honestly, my feeling on that is I like the way they did it. I would have changed the teams playing each other, though, I think, just because of standings. I think I would have put Aces Gold, Pitbosses Vibe, instead of Aces, Pitbosses, Vibe Gold. I think those might have produced two better turnout games, competition-wise, athleticism-wise.
Do you think that maybe they did that because of one big reason? That maybe somebody's feeling the Pitbosses might be a little bit better of a team than what they have been?
I definitely think so.
That's a fair
especially
statement.
with the new head coach. I mean, that whole Pitbosses team, I've talked to some players over there, and they feel a lot better now with Q at the helm because of the direction that he's tried to move the team.
Well, I mean, look, I'm not going to knock anybody, especially Bartley, because he is
absolutely
a great coach. But I think that, you get to a point, you win the fall brawl, and then your team gets decimated. Everybody goes someplace else.
Bye-bye.
That's
Right.
tough, man. I don't care how you slice that. That's tough. So you got to think about that. And then, where was his head when he came in back into, playing again this season, knowing that my championship team is
gone.
Yeah. And we know where they went. So it makes it
they went
tough.
to the two super teams, basically, that came in. And it's shown just that they're the teams to be dealt with at least in Las Vegas.
And we could call them super teams, but I mean, these guys have all played together for a while.
Yeah, they have. Absolutely.
It's not like
it's not by mistake that they all formed like this when they figured out these two coaches were coming in with these teams, that they went, hey, this is where we're going. These were their flag teams, flag families. So it made sense for them to play together. They had that coercion, that bond, so they knew how each other was going to act and what to expect from each other.
Have we heard if K Uno is going out there? Because I think that makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, I know.
K Uno's got love for Casey.
I know. Oh, I know. I was. I think Will Franklin said it best. I seem to be living rent free right up there in his head. Like I said it how I saw it. Sorry if it hurt your feelings.
I seen that one.
But I mean,
you say at least 3 things a week that's gonna piss somebody off. Though.
Oh, I do.
I do.
It, but here's the thing. And at the end of the day, Keuno knows what it is. He knows. I respect him as a player. I just think there's more he could do in the passing game. Yes, he needs more time. We established that. But at the same time, he has that opportunity at points with other teams, and he still went run first.
Yeah, but also he's been on the run.
Yeah.
The whole time. There's a reason it's run first. Yeah. It's because if he even tries to wait on any team he's been on, he ain't had no time.
No.
If they were snapping the ball, he would get the ball the same time the defenders were getting back.
Yeah, no, he needs to have an O-line behind him. Yeah, in reality.
No time to read progressions.
Absolutely. Without an O-line, you can't do anything at quarterback. It doesn't matter how good you are.
And with this league, with the rules, you can only line up 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. So, like, you can't do what players will do in other leagues and, like, go to a shotgun to try and get you more time and line up a little bit farther back. It doesn't work like that.
No.
You have to be within those 5 yards. And really, you're a sitting duck if your O-line isn't going to even put up a half a second of a fight. Like, they're barely getting hands on people sometimes. That's just not acceptable.
You know what, though? Why hasn't anybody gone under center? You don't go behind the center, okay?
Right.
Snap the ball as a run play and take off with your center as your blocker.
Well, because, I mean, really the only 2 teams that could do that haven't had to do it yet. That would be Sick and...
The Insomniacs.
But I want you to think about that for a second, because isn't that just like Philly's short yardage play?
Yeah,
no,
it would work.
It is.
It would work if you have the linemen to do it. But the only people that have that super dominant center are those 2 top teams, and they haven't had to dig into their bag yet. Like they're barely scratching the surface.
Do you really need to be super dominant at center to snap the ball and take off?
No.
I mean, realistically, if your center just can get in the damn way, you'll be okay.
Nah, because I'll run right over you.
With the
point blank period, I will put you on your back, and I will carry you right into the quarterback.
With the mighty hammer.
Matt Kenny and Sayar
with the hammer,
with the hammer in hand.
With the hammer in hand.
With the hammer in hand.
There's people in our league now that are 10 times as strong as I am.
Right.
Like if I'm manhandling these people, they don't have nothing for them. Like that pop and rip that Sayar has. No. That's putting bruises on people's shoulders. And Matt Kenny is getting like a pancake a play.
Yeah.
He's literally running down the field like in stance, just finding somebody and just boom, done.
He's looking for contact, looking to hit somebody.
And he's dumping people along the way. I think that
he loves pancakes. He was at IHOP in the offseason. I mean, that off week we had.
Let's get back on topic a little bit, though. Like these 2 teams going to LA, how competitive do we feel the Pitbosses are going to be against the Aces? Something that was brought up to me is it seems like the Pitbosses might actually have somebody to stop Mallard. And that's something the Vibe hasn't been able to do really, is stop Mallard.
Well, dude,
it depends if Keuno makes the trip.
Yeah, and again, who's traveling?
Yeah, that's the key.
You know, that's always going to be our question.
Which roster is going down there?
Exactly.
Well, but my understanding, it's a good roster of about 20.
Okay.
At least.
It's your understanding, but again,
and that's coming from the head coach. Yeah, that one hasn't been disclosed because they're still, but he's got second and third options.
That's the elephant in the room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or,
And where are all these people that Coach Q is bringing out? Are they traveling? Are they going to let him pick people up for the playoffs?
Well, there are people that are on his roster that actually live out there.
In Los Angeles?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Or out close to there.
Well,
I know of 2.
There's at least 1 or 2.
Yeah. That definitely changes the dynamic for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they won't have to travel far.
But are those 2 going to make a difference?
Yeah, we haven't seen him play yet.
Exactly. That remains to be seen.
One of the two we saw him.
Perspective, you picking up people going to the playoffs. I don't like that.
One of the 2 we saw, by my understanding, one of the 2 we saw last spring, and he was pretty dominant. He was a pretty good force to be reckoned with. He wasn't on a winning team, but Robert Burns, I believe, he's going to play for the Pitbosses. I believe he'll be there.
Okay.
Q has talked about he's coming, and this was 2 weeks ago. He said he'll be here in 2 weeks, so I'm guessing for this week and going forward. unless something's changed. That's one of them that lives out there, though. There's not much travel there.
No. And I mean, those type of things need to be thought of, especially when you start doing the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
And you start traveling. Because, I mean, let's face it, even when we have our team, whoever comes out of Vegas and travels to Ohio first, that's a big step. My question mark, though, is still to the point that I don't like is, why are we doing the traveling?
Yeah.
Why isn't Ohio traveling to Vegas? We're going East Coast, and then if we win, we have to go East Coast again.
Yeah, that doesn't really make sense.
Or is that
it should
become the championship?
It would be one thing if the Ohio team had the best record in the Western Conference, but that's not the case. Now it's the Insomniacs obviously. So why should they? Exactly. They should have home field throughout the West portion of the playoffs. Absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you what. If we had somebody,
I think in the future that's something to look at.
If we had somebody nationally, I would ask them that question. I'd be like, dude, what's up? Why aren't we looking at records as far as who travels to where? I mean, let's be honest.
That's a big point. A big point. I do like that the championship is going to be in Bullhead, though.
I do like that. Don't get me wrong. That's beautiful. I want us to have an opportunity to play at home.
When you walk in there, wait till everybody feels how that is when you walk into that stadium.
It is nice.
Because that is a legitimate stadium for us. And I saw, man, shout out to Derek for exactly what he did, doing what he said he was going to do, and he's working on getting Vegas the exact same thing. We need it. We deserve it. We have the leagues that'll pay. We just need somebody to build the building. We'll pay back the loan. There's enough leagues that'll love that. That heat is crazy.
I just said, don't forget about the booth. That's all I asked.
Oh, yeah. It was a nice booth.
Hey, you know what? I don't want to hear it from you guys because I'm down on the damn field, so I want to hear it.
You can come to the booth and join us, Chris.
If you're in an indoor field, you got it nicer than being out in 100-degree heat.
That is true.
Look, that is, and trust me when I say, when we were at the championship game down there, that was nice.
Yes, it was.
I'm not going to lie. That was one of the big things that when I walked into the stadium, it was like, wow, okay.
Yeah, that was exactly the feeling.
And it's not hot as balls. We're good.
Your eyes go up. Start looking around, and there's not another feeling to that. You feel like you're in a movie. It's amazing.
I would go that route and even more when we sit here and think about the way that whole game played out.
All right, can we not?
Can
we just talk about the feeling before the game?
Don't put Scotty in his feels right now. Don't do it. Don't do it.
No, seriously, that was one of the best games I've ever been a part of, and unfortunately, the injury happened early in the game, and I tried to push through it, but just being on the sidelines for the last part of that game, watching it unfold from the sidelines, that was, even though we ended up not on the winning side of that, hats off to that whole squad. They were fighting the whole season between each other and everything. They pulled together in a very real way when it mattered most, and we did not. And that is exactly what happened in the end of that game. And, shout out to KJ and Lavish for that epic back and forth on a 3-on-1 that still, Savion kills me. It's like PTSD every game with him. Every game, man, I don't even want to talk about it.
But you have made notions many, many times in the booth when that happens during the games that we broadcast.
Man, because it was just back, it's like, okay, cool, we got it in the bag. One tackle, and we got the game championship. Let's get our rings. Let's get out of here.
Nope. Yeah,
gone.
There goes.
You just hear sound effects, just feet. Yeah. That was it. It was gone.
Lavish
is insane.
Dude.
So what do we think about the gold? Do we think that they're going to go in and put something on the vibe and walk out with the win?
We don't know. The thing about it that I have a hard time with is I've watched the Vibe play the Aces. We haven't watched them play anybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
So the hard part of evaluating any team on any given Sunday is the competition.
Right.
Are we, did the Aces play down to their competition the last game because they know how bad they beat them the first game?
Right.
Or did the Vibe play up to their competition knowing how bad they got beat in that first game?
Right.
So I've got concerns of calling that to say, which Vibe team are we going to get against the Gold?
So you're going to get their absolute best shot. It's going to be the best Vibe team.
I was going to say, by my understanding, this Vibe team is actually a new coached, new like rostered vibe team that came in since that last loss. Like they added a whole bunch of pieces. They've got a whole bunch of new players, and that's why they played so well against the Aces, by my understanding.
Okay. Well, I mean, still.
With that, and they know they're playing against like
no.
Vegas's worst team.
Yeah.
Like they haven't put. Like, let's be real, and I got a lot of love for Jeremiah.
Scott,
like, you know what I mean?
I'm
not gonna say what I want to, man. You can come talk to me in the booth. It is what it is,
right?
Because you're not gonna say nothing to me on the field. I promise you that. Next season, it's gonna be a problem.
Scotty is ready to lay down the hammer.
Man, look, I'm feeling a certain type of way. I've been left off of everybody's top 10 list that since I've been hurt. I got a chip on my shoulder right now. Everybody can't eat one.
Well, you know
I don't
what?
care.
Having a chip ain't a bad thing.
No, it ain't.
No, everybody.
Especially
can
coming
eat
back coming back after off of an injury.
Oh yeah, I got something to prove.
Yeah.
Because I failed in that game. That was my job, was to contain Trey. That was my job. That was our only hope at winning that game, was me containing Trey, and that hernia killed that. So he beat us because of me. I got a problem.
Yeah.
So
you know what I mean? Like I got something to prove.
We got to get through all that for Scott. He's having flashbacks.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
My bad.
Right.
Well, I'd be real the whole thing.
The Viking is ready to unleash passion right now.
Sorry, we can agree though that this is probably going to be at least a good game.
Oh yeah,
anyway.
yeah. No, you're going to get the best goal you got, but they've been through a rough stretch.
They have.
They've been through it
well,
right
that's
now.
The thing. They've been through a buzzsaw the
Are
last
they going to
few
turn
weeks.
around and be like, okay, we finally have an opportunity to really go out and put it on somebody?
But again, what's the one thing we've been saying about the Gold all season? They've shown spurts, but they haven't been consistent with
exactly.
it. And that's the
It
one thing
always
we've been
comes back
asking
to that
for.
C word.
Yeah, the C word, consistency.
Yep.
I've seen spurts.
That wasn't the C word I was thinking of, but I'll think of another one.
Okay, so, and as well as we have two teams going to travel to L.A., we also have two of the top four in Vegas playing each other this weekend in the Kryptonite versus the Force, where the winner gets to play sick with it, the loser gets the Insomniacs. Is that really a winner or loser?
Nah,
like you lose on both ends of that if you ask me.
That's what we call a lose-lose. That's
that's a lose-lose-lose-lose.
Now, there's something to be said about that too, though, because you figure both Sick With It and the Insomniacs were put together specifically for a reason.
To play each other again.
Natty.
No.
National
No,
championship.
to go to the national championship
So
and play somebody like the U or BIC.
Just keep one thing in mind when we're talking about this. Do you really think either team will be missing any players in the playoffs?
Oh, no.
No.
The one thing that,
if anything, they've been setting some guys aside waiting to make sure they get healthy for the playoffs.
Yes.
Right, but with how deep their roster is, you know how hard it is to get 25 guys in Vegas to pay $5 in ref fees? You trying to get 52 guys to get together to go all the way to Ohio? Come on, man. That's going to take some work.
I'll tell you what.
They better start organizing that right meow.
Normally I would agree with you, but because of the way these teams were put together and these guys were asked,
I mean, they
specifically,
can you
by
travel? Their coaches
will
specifically
you and can
said,
you travel? And they only put them on the team if they could.
It wasn't even a would you. It's a can you make the playoffs and the championship if we make it? And if your answer was no, you weren't on their team.
Pretty much.
I mean, good, and I hope everybody shows up, because then they're gonna get Vegas's best shot.
Well, again, it's about,
and nobody can say anything. Can nobody say shit after that?
It's about commitment.
Once that, I can't wait to be a part of this broadcast team. I wish I could hop on a roster. I wish I could hop on a roster right now.
But this
I
type
wish I
of
could.
game,
it wouldn't be right.
Okay,
But
let me ask this though.
Man.
This type of game, this late in the season, being two top four teams out of Vegas playing each other, how much better is that going to make them prepared for the playoffs when they get there in 2 weeks?
Oh, it's going to be laser sharp, laser focused. That's what's going to come down to.
Well, what's
these two
interesting
teams
to
are
me,
going to be iron on iron, exactly like.
But what's interesting to me is the fact that you talk to both coaches, and the one thing that both of them have said, you haven't seen our playbook.
Nobody has.
Nobody's seen their playbook.
Coaches.
And when you say
to
that,
man.
be afraid.
I would
be very afraid,
because we've seen some tricky shit, some good shit,
and it's not the full arsenal.
Man,
dude, but sometimes and the thing about it is sometimes it's just lining up and beating you.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
They're just taking whatever the defense is giving them and
because
running with it.
if you're just only going through a third of the playbook and you're putting up 86 points, 92 points,
That's dangerous.
And you haven't even gone deep into the playbook?
Imagine how badly, like, with all the trash talk that's going on, and I got to clarify real quick. I've said it's been a lot of trash talk, and it's all football all the time. I got no personal problem with nobody. This is between those sticks. I don't care about you, not even a little bit. But outside of that gridiron, I love you like a brother because we all do the same thing. We all got to go to work. We all do this for fun. We love it, and this is what we live for. But outside of that, they ain't got nothing for those teams. Man, it's not even fair. They don't have nobody that can line up with them. Nobody. I've been watching film, and I see you guys have talent, and you guys have strong guys, and you guys have fast guys. Cool. You don't
that only
have
gets you
the
so
schemes.
far.
You don't have the schemes. And you don't have Matt Kenny and you don't have Sayal.
Keep in mind, they might be holding out too. But anyway,
right.
Let's get back to where we were on going gold versus vibe. Are we going to wait until the end to pick games for the playoffs?
I think we should.
Okay.
I think that'll be
all right. We'll wait. But, I mean, let's move on and talk about some of these other playoff games. And, you know, we'll do a little deeper dive into them.
Right. I want to, if you don't mind a minute, I want to go ahead and kick over to Dub for a minute and let him kind of dig into, because we've dug into a little bit of what we've got going on over here. Yeah. He actually has a little bit of what's going on in the East. He's actually did that research. I kind of asked him to help with that this week to kind of run that playoff picture for the East Coast down so we have a better idea of what that looks like.
Well, if I can get my notes.
Man, all the film I've been watching, there's going to be some good
It's stacked
games.
at the top.
Even the bad teams are good.
Yes.
Even the bad teams are good.
It's a log jam. It really, really is. Okay, first off, for Florida, it's Nightcrawlers against the Orange. Nightcrawlers 3-0, Orange 1-2. So pretty much, Nightcrawlers pretty much are coming out of Florida as
they're spicy.
The top team.
Yeah.
So now we go to the Northeast, where it is a log jam. So you got the Buzz.
Hold on real quick. Shout out to my boy BG. Nightcrawlers. Go ahead.
So, we got the Buzz against BIC, Renegades against the U, Show Tribe against the Watchmen, Omegas against Silk City. But
man, shout out to Corey Hammond. I think they could beat anybody on any Sunday. I think they got the veterans. The Omegas got the veterans to upset somebody. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Okay, but here's the logjam. So you got three teams right now at 5-1, which you got BIC, the U, but right now it's the Watchmen that have the number one slot in the Northeast. So, if it stays as is, and not to mention you got Silk City at 4-2, and you got the Renegades at 3-3, and Show Tribe hanging on the last spot at 2-4. So, if the season ended today, the Watchmen and BIC would get a bye week, which means you would get Silk City against the U in the 3-4 matchup.
Oh my.
Then you would get, if it stayed the same, then you would get the Renegades against the Show Tribe in the 5-6 matchup.
Wow.
That's nasty for the Show Tribe.
So of course, as we know, winner of Florida takes on the winner of the East, and then of course they will wait for whoever comes out the West.
And the winner of the West plays the winner of Ohio to see who plays the East in the championship. I'm going to say this.
The East got a rough road. Anybody from the East has a rough road to the playoffs.
And now let's throw this wrench in too, which I know you didn't have when you prepared your notes, but now let's throw this wrench in that we've figured out. The Buzz and BIC aren't actually playing this weekend because the Buzz aren't traveling.
So can you explain to me, so how do we figure out the point differential for that?
So that becomes, and Derek laid this out, I think, in our group chat.
I was trying to make you sound smart, but go ahead. I was trying to throw you a bone.
No.
Here's what he said.
It's their point differential, which is 155, divided by the six games they've played, which leaves 26. The Buzz would get 0, so that game is 26-0. BIC over Buzz,
because BIC will put up way more than that.
Yeah, exactly. So then now the BIC's point total goes from 155 to 181 ish, something like that. So, but that's still not enough to overtake first, but enough to keep them in second, unless the U win by what, like 70?
So no. Okay, so here's the curveball. So unless the Watchmen lose or the U wins by 69 or more, then they're in the number 2 seed.
Yeah, BIC's in the number 2.
Right, but don't you think that they would come out with the type of intensity that that might give them a shot at number 1? Like if they have the chance to play,
no doubt. If they played the Buzz 26-0 is probably, honestly, I'm going to say half of what it would honestly be. Man. I mean, probably more like a 52 to 6 or a 52 to nothing type of game, unfortunately for the Buzz, because the BIC is on that level right now where their mind is, we got to make it to national championship, so they're going to run through anybody they can, and the Buzz is one of those teams they would have had to do it.
Oh, man. They'd have had to face that.
Who's to say they don't see, are the Buzz in a playoff position?
The Buzz? I don't think so.
No. Mm-hmm. Okay. I didn't think so.
They were 0-6, weren't they?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Okay. Well, let's give accurate facts now. Okay. So here's the whole Eastern Conference situation. Okay. Watchman, BIC, Patterson U, all 5-1. Right now with the net points for the Watchmen at 212, BIC 155, the U 112. Okay. Silk City at 4-2, Renegades 3-3, Show Tribe 2-4, Buzz and the Omegas 0-6. And then of course in Florida, Nightcrawlers 3-0. O-Town 1-2, the Ghost 1-3.
I think Silk City is so dangerous with that record.
Oh, they are.
I think
4-2 sitting right in the middle of the pack.
So dangerous at that position. Dangerous. That's not even cool.
No.
Trying to play footsies with me, man?
Sorry.
They could be, I mean, contender worthy.
Could they forge an upset?
They could forge an upset against somebody like the U or BIC in the East Championship.
But if you look at it, if you really look at it at like from an athlete standpoint, with the attitude that Silk City plays with, upset though.
Well,
they're gonna bang it out. Yeah. That's gonna be a slug.
And again,
the East is gonna be some real cool playoffs to watch.
We as broadcasters, commentators, we use the term upset loosely. When we say upset, it may not necessarily be an upset to,
I don't know.
It may not necessarily be an upset to everybody in everybody's minds, but it is the lower ranked team going in against a higher ranked team. So that's why you say upset in that, because it's a 3 versus a 1. So in essence, it's an upset, or a 4 versus a 1. So in essence, it is an upset.
I see what you're saying.
But not an upset athletics.
Seeding standpoint, because I mean sometimes the record does not show how they play.
Right.
It's indicative to the record sometimes.
Because sometimes, man, you can have that one bad game where you just get blown out. Like I'm pretty sure one of the good teams got wrecked this season on the East Coast, like randomly, and like it kind of threw things for a loop for like 2 weeks. For a second, they righted the ship and fixed everything, but they just had a bad night and it fucked shit up.
Perfect example out here. Everyone thought, "What's wrong with the Force?" They lost 2 straight games.
To the best 2 teams in the nation.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. True, but people
undoubtedly.
People's like, have they lost their mojo? Have they lost their swagger? Which now,
no, they've
gone back to basics. Now they're right in the thick of the playoff chase. But that just goes to show you, any given Sunday, as Chris always talks about.
Man,
but it's funny because when I sat there and I thought about what you were just saying, I'm like, interesting. And all we heard from the East Coast was, we've already played your best in the Force.
No, you haven't.
Wait.
You played our best out of 3 teams in our very first season.
You saw what happened when they played Sick and when they played Insomniacs. Not as a knock to them, but those 2 teams
demolished
are more of truly what Vegas has to offer.
Yeah. And they wiped the Force.
Exactly. Kind of.
And the Insomniacs did, yes.
I hate to say it. I hate to say it like this, but it was like
it was a very close competitive game.
Yeah.
Sick kind of.
But that was the game.
Insomniacs kind of BIC'd them.
Yeah. No, that was the game plan.
Realistically.
But Scooter walked up to the booth and told us that.
Yeah.
They played from the jump. We're just going to run it until they stop it.
Run the ball. We're going to run the ball.
What's crazy is in this league and with the lineup that they have, that's the safe route for them.
I was going to say,
wait up a minute. Route is to
rewind
bulldoze
that back.
Over people.
Yeah.
You're going to
say, is that your like fallback like safety plan?
We're
just going to run right over you. Fuck
I was going to say, let's rewind that back, because is that really a safety plan to run the ball when you have the likes of RTC, Tone, Who else are you going to put? Who else are you going to put out there at running back? You got at least 3 you can use at running back.
You
still
can put Munchie in the backfield at running back,
or a quarterback.
Yes,
they put Matt Kennedy back there.
Even without the bowling ball for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
like my lord, you've got 4 or 5 options you can throw back there. Any play at running back, and they're going to run through you.
And you know how much RTC just goes looking for contact because he wants to truck somebody.
He wants to run through somebody.
Mm-hmm. He needs to carry 2 people before the play's over.
He needs to feel the contact.
And RTC that, for a reason.
And he'll come to the booth with a burrito in hand talking about, hi guys, how are you?
Man, before the game was over, shout out RTC, burrito in hand.
Burrito in hand.
Yeah.
Without any hot sauce. I'm disappointed.
I mean, honestly, those
you got to keep, if you've ever played sports,
which I have.
The last thing you want to do is right after you get done playing, eat something spicy.
Oh, correct.
Eat something spicy, you'll find out real quick.
You will be sitting on the throne for a few minutes.
Yes. So there's a reason behind that. And then I see the guys that are going to get tacos at halftime, and I'm like, man, you guys are nuts. You guys are nuts. I wouldn't even make it to the second half. I'd be like, where are you going? Home? Why? Yeah, my throne's calling my name.
The throne is awaiting my arrival.
Yes.
So, what do y'all think is going to happen in the Force Kryptonite game? I think it comes down to which Kryptonite team shows up.
That's exactly.
If Zach shows up, KJ shows up, Iquan shows up. If everybody's there, you know what I mean. Then okay.
The only thing that's been bothering me is this, and that is I've been saying that for the last 4 weeks.
Yes. Yeah. It's been that for the Kryptonite every week. It's been which one's going to show up.
The thing about it is, man, playoffs. If they show up. They could show out. I mean, these are guys that can come out and make some. You talk about wreaking havoc at 4-2 and on the East Coast with some of the teams. But I'm just saying, man, Kryptonite could be that one team that you're like, I can't believe we got to play these guys.
And I like that and here's why I agree with that, because these guys are made up of flag football players that travel the nation and play for money. Now we're getting in playoffs where money is on the line for the championship. If these guys actually decided to show up every game of the playoffs with the full team that we saw them show up with last year, when I said, if you show up with a super team, I can't give you credit, and that's what they did. But they showed up and whooped the pit bosses with this team. Like if that style of team shows up every game of the playoffs. Who's to say they're not there to play for that money? Because money drives those guys.
Yeah, definitely.
And not to mention
motivation.
And not to mention, you get your two best returners on the 3-on-1, which is always a difference in a game.
And that's not a knock to anybody else, but I'm just saying, money seems to motivate them flag football players. And
let's take a look.
There's
at that.
$20,000 on the line or whatever it is.
Dub,
so
you just brought something up that I really wanted to talk about last week, but I wanted to wait until this week because we were talking about playoffs. 3-on-1.
Yeah.
I mean, let's take a deeper dive, and I think that we should kind of might want to put this on for next week, just knowing some of the guys that are out there and understanding some of the returners that could be showing up to play across the country this weekend with the playoffs just looming. So let's be real about it. The teams that have a good returner or a great returner, those are the ones that you can't count out when you start talking about the playoffs. Because it could happen so quick, and because it's untimed. You look at these things and you're like, well, they're down by 14, this game's over, there's only 2 minutes left, or they're down by 28 or 21 and there's only 2 minutes left, there's no way. And the next thing you know, it's they're down 14, you're going, well, what just happened?
The untimed down?
The untimed downs of the throw off. That
exactly.
is it.
So I mean, when we're talking about these things, I started to look at the teams that had returners that, are hard to stop. So a Kryptonite.
Yeah.
Now Insomniacs with the
return of Mr. Robinson.
Yeah.
Well, Robinson for one.
Yes.
But they've got two.
Yes.
So, I mean, you start looking at those teams and you start thinking, okay, here's a team.
With it with Lavish.
Yeah. I mean, these are teams that you look at and you just you start shaking your head because you're like, man, they're really good on offense, but damn, now they got a returner too.
And of course, Mr. Cunningham on OTT.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Of course.
So you start looking at these things, and it's going to be one of those things where even back east, I'm looking at those teams because I think special teams are going to play a huge part in these games.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's going to be small.
Took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say, at least over here in the West, I feel like with the teams we have in Vegas and in California, that 3-on-1 return could be the difference maker between a win and a loss in a game.
But hold on, man. I'm not just talking about return game. I'm also talking about extra points.
Oh, yeah.
Because the biggest thing that I see is you've got a close game. The return game is one piece of that. the other piece of that is, can you put up those 1 point conversions or those 2 point conversions?
It better be a 2
You better be going for 2.
Of course, that is the Scott McCorkle Viking rule. You always go for 2.
Always go for 2, baby.
Well, I mean, look, I can't disagree with them. I mean, if you're down by 5 points, you get that 6 for the touchdown. Damn right, I'm going for 2. So I mean, you've got to make that team that you're playing against,
and especially now in a game with no kick.
Yeah.
So you go up by 3. Now you force them to have to score the touchdown to beat you.
Exactly. So I agree with
the
them.
one. Yeah, exactly. The one is out the window.
Always make them chase.
Yeah.
Always make them chase.
It's one of those things of it's a free play. It's not a free play. Let's face it.
No,
it's not. But at the same time,
it is.
What I'm saying is it is a free play.
Yeah.
So you want to have some of your best plays for short yardage. You know, you want to practice those damn things now, because you never know when it's a 28-28 game and no time left on the clock and you're going for a 1-pointer to win the damn game. You know, you got to think about those things.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I would hate to hit every 1 point conversion and lose a game by 1 because the other team went and only hit 3 of 6.
Right.
For 2.
For 2s.
You know what I mean? Like I couldn't couldn't deal with that, man.
I wouldn't be able to go home. I'd have to sit out on the field.
Yeah, that's a deep contemplation right there.
We talked about the force and the kryptonite.
That game's gonna be spicy. Mac has some stuff dialed up too.
But every game in Vegas this week is a playoff team playing a playoff team.
Yeah. What's the other one?
It's a preview. It's a preview of what's to come when it starts. By the way, playoffs start June 4th, just FYI for those that are watching.
Yep.
So what's the next game on the docket?
I don't remember the exact order.
I got you. Hold on.
But I know OTT, I believe, is playing.
I got you.
Not under the lights?
Not under the lights.
No, they are under the lights.
Are they? Again, that shouldn't be surprising to anybody.
I got you. 1 second.
Hey,
hold on.
You know what, man? That's not their fault.
Man, look, I think it's a scheduling thing because all their guys seem to show up at halftime.
Yeah.
So I think they just got those jobs where that's the off time.
All right, so first game of the day at 1:30, not 11 o'clock as it normally is. First game of the day is Insomniacs against the Hunters.
Yep.
Oof.
The game of the week, per se, the late slot is Kryptonite Force and OTT under the lights against the Insomniacs.
Ouch.
That's your schedule last week of the season before the playoffs.
So that is literally playoff preview.
Right across the board.
Right across the board, because you're literally probably going to get one of those teams rematching with one within the next 2 to 4 weeks.
Well, you know what I've been saying all year, and I still feel this way. We are on a collision course to have Insomniacs and Sickwood at part 2.
Oh, yeah.
I've been saying that since week 1. I've said, give me a rematch. I'll take it right now today. You know, I just feel like we're on a collision course to have that happen again.
Crazy.
That game's going to be ugly.
That game is going to be crazy. And then
what about that?
But look at the matching. Look at the matching games on the other side of the country. There's going to be some bangers that weekend.
Look at our Hunters, OTT. They're the 2 traveling. They're going to L.A. to take on the Aces.
Yeah, and the Vibe.
Yep. And the OTT, I believe, gets the Vibe. The Hunters get the Aces. And
could be a very interesting game.
I think that's going to be an OTT gamer.
Well,
I think so.
Again, traveling. Wait, hold on. Again, traveling
with.
If they travel with their whole team, they're good.
Yeah,
I have no problems with it. But if they're missing
6,
if they're missing players,
it's over with.
It's going to be over with quick.
And that's one of the hard things that, like, and I've heard, and Derek has spoke on it, a couple of times, and I'm in the middle of making a decision for what team I'm going to play for. But, like, I've talked to Derek about
tonight?
Man, look, I might.
I've had a
couple of these drinks, man.
I've had a couple of
these drinks. It might fall out my mouth.
Oh boy!
Who knows?
Well, we'll wait until one of those is empty, and then I'll ask you again.
Right, and then. But OTT, like the thing they're gonna have a hard time building around is the inconsistency in people showing up. It's the same thing that Kryptonite have right now.
Yep.
Like that's one of the big things and I'll say this right now. That's the main reason I'm not going back to the Kryptonite. I'll go ahead and cut that out right now. The reason I'm not going back to that is because nobody shows up. Nobody shows up.
Right.
And the OTT had the same thing. You never know who's going to show up every once in a it's every once and again I'm going to get to play with my homeboy, or I could just go play with like a team where everybody's going to show up every week. Nah, look, I want a national championship. Y'all can feel how you want about it.
Right.
If there's structure in an organization, that's where you want to be. As I always say, you want to assign people that want to play and come to your organization because there is structure.
Right.
There's an atmosphere. There's a chemistry. There's a synergy there. That's what you want as a player. Doesn't matter what sport you're playing in. That's what you want.
Yeah.
Can't argue that.
Let me ask this though. I know last season travel was an issue because of playoffs. It seems like this season Derek has tried to correct that a little bit we have 2 vans or 3, I think maybe even available for our teams to take when they go to L.A. when it's the pit bosses and the gold. If that same type of setup is available for the travel to L.A. for the playoffs though, and now all of a sudden they don't have to worry about I'm driving my own car, paying for my own gas. How am I going to get there? Is my car going to make it? And they lose all these excuses, and now all it is it's show up by 7 a.m. to play your game. Do more of them guys maybe likely show up because of that? Now they don't have to worry about the travel as much.
Maybe. Well, if they can't get off work, they can't get off work.
Well, getting off work is one thing, but these other guys, we know there's plenty of these guys though that it's not that they can't get off work. It's my car may not make it all of a sudden, or I didn't have the gas money all of a sudden. It seems
you're taking excuses
2 hours
away. That's all it is.
But when it's 3 hours before game time or 3 hours before leave time, and they're now all of a sudden saying this when they've said all week, I'm going to be there. Now we've taken that out of the equation because we have vans. You just show up to the location, you get in a van, and you go. Now what's your excuse to not show up and play?
You ain't got one.
Exactly.
Again, it just
scared.
It boils down.
Scared.
It boils down to this: are you committed?
Be playing.
Yeah.
Are you committed?
Yeah. Thank you.
And are you committed? And more importantly than that, how bad do you want it?
And exactly, if you're going into the playoffs, you should want it bad enough that now, okay, your travel is accommodated for you. All you got to do is show up and get in a van, go play your game and win it.
I got a quick question.
And show us how bad
do
you want
I want it? Well, let me put it this way. If I wasn't 51 years old and
you'd be in a van going home.
Aching parts and stuff that just doesn't move right anymore, I would be in the van.
Well, you look like you can still play at least. You look like you still can get at least 3 snaps out of you.
I was about
at least
to say he gonna get a half a series.
A snap a quarter. A snap a quarter. I'll give him a snap a quarter.
I don't even know if I could do that, man.
So I'm confused,
adrenaline is an amazing thing, my friend.
Yeah, it is.
So you said that the Aces and the Vibe are gonna play OTT and the Hunters, but you also said they're gonna play Gold and
this weekend they're playing playoffs. Gold.
This week
and
it's
the
Gold and Pitbosses.
Okay, all right.
But in the playoffs, it'll be OTT and Hunters that travel out there.
Oh, okay.
Two lowest seeds go out there.
It doesn't matter what the seeding is for the Hunters and OTT; they're going to LA regardless.
Yeah. The seeding, all the seeding matters is who they'll play. And right now, the Hunters unfortunately get the buzzsaw of the Aces with Mallard.
Yeah, that's gonna be a rough one.
And Mallard's tough to stop.
Because even if
he runs hard,
not saying that it would happen, but just hypothetically, or in bizarre world, just in case if the upset happened and OTT pulls off the upset, the Insomniacs are not losing the number 1 seed. They're not.
No,
they're pretty much locked into the number 1 seed because they beat the Force and they beat Sick with it. So you can, in a sense, just lock up the Insomniacs as the number 1 seed here in Vegas.
Oh yeah.
Well, technically, they should have the number 1 seed in the country.
They do.
Yeah. They the only ones that have played a multitude of games and not lost.
Number one seed means nothing in the country,
yeah, no,
especially
when
you have to do the travel.
Come on, man. This kind of goes along with that though. Like last week when we were in here and we did the show and we had the top 10, I swore Sick was number 5.
That's out.
How do we go?
Hold on, let me
in
check
1
that for
week? I want to make sure I'm right, but I want to say they were number 5 last week when we came in here. And then this week with everybody on an off week, now Sick is number 8 again? Or am I mistaken? Were they number 8 to begin with? I thought they did some shuffling with the number 10 from last week to this week. And I'm like, how do you shuffle the number 10 when they were bye weeks?
They were low when they first got on, but they steadily kept climbing.
Stepped climbing, yes. And I thought last week they were at number 5 finally, or 6, which is where we thought they needed to be. And then now this week's came out and they were back down to number 8 or 9.
So
and I'm like, how?
They were 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they were 5.
Yeah, now they're back down to number 8. I don't understand with a bye week how we shuffle a top 10 that
with
much.
No games.
With no games. Exactly. So, I mean,
I'm getting lit up right now.
Turn your volume down.
Oh, my bad. I thought it was all my fault. I'm getting lit up.
You're letting everybody listen.
Oh, my fault.
but so I thought I was right on that. I looked at that, and that was the one thing that threw me was how do you drop somebody from number 5 to number 8 when nobody played?
Man, look, this is one of the
other than for conversation piece, and that goes to prove that top 10 is absolutely nothing because they shuffled it for no reason.
On the eye test, ain't nobody got nothing for Sick either.
No.
Nobody. The national championship should be Insomniacs versus Sick. That's going to be the best. That's going to be. Try to turn it
as
off.
if
nobody has nothing for either one of those teams except for each other. They'll have some rough teams in the East. Yeah, they got some rough games, but not
Sick needed
like
some more motivation. As if they needed billboard material just off of that. Now you just pretty much just pissed them off.
Yeah. Yeah, how do you lose 3 spots and not play a game?
But they don't.
Nobody and nobody. Not even that you didn't play a game. Nobody played a game. So it wasn't like there were teams that played that had a reason to move up because now they got one more win. Like you'd see in like a college or an NFL top 25 style.
That'd be like us looking at the 11 through 20 again and going, okay, we're gonna totally change it around. And they never played.
And that is why that's why players on the field look at this top 20 or the top 10 that Rob, Matt, and Corey and go, that don't mean shit.
Yeah,
it's absolutely nothing. It's announcers talking. That right there goes to kind of show that. Like,
but that
you just
is
shuffled
insanity.
You finished it. You shuffled the top 10 on a bye week.
Now I haven't seen it. Does anybody have it?
No, I haven't seen it either.
I haven't seen it.
I had it. I could have sworn it was shared.
Let me find out. Casey's getting me all hyped up for no reason.
That is
wild.
They did.
I'm going to call Corey tonight.
They dropped him to 8.
I swear I'm going to call Corey as soon as I leave here because at 5, you're going to tell me that you got 3 teams on the East Coast that can line up with and beat Sick?
Oh, no. He's saying he got 3 teams that did not play last week that could line up and beat Sick. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Just saying.
That's what it looks like anyway.
Yeah.
When you shuffle the top 10 like that, that's what it looks like you're saying.
You needed to give Sick.
No, I'm just doing that for conversation and argument.
As if they needed to be extra motivated. Because they really
play
like
so
the best
cool,
team.
calm,
They really
and collected. They know in their head they know they're the best. They don't give a fuck about first game with the Insomniac.
They do not.
They don't.
They do not lack for confidence for nothing.
No, but do you blame them? They didn't. Have, there's like 3 or 4 people that are stars for them now that weren't even there for that.
No.
Like, so I get it, but. Fuck.
Where can we find that? Where can we find that top 10?
Either one of them teams
is
just fuck. That's like when you see BIC come in with that heavy set, like that heavy set they got.
I thought
it's
Jared
just like
shared it or something, but maybe not.
Because I mean that's gonna hurt.
Oh yeah.
I crashed the edge, and that's a big boy coming. And they pull.
You're gonna have to make. You're gonna have to make
a
business decision on some of those.
But guess what? AJ got something for him. Quinn got something for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm not going to deny that.
Chris McWilliams, Mr. Mouth, he got something for him.
He does.
You know what I mean? Like these guys,
you know what I always say about
look, I'm excited for these guys, bro. My guys, I got guys on both sides, and they are both. All of them are killers.
If you don't know where 20 and 10 is, you're going to have a long day.
A long day.
Long day.
So
and then stick with it with their rotation. Like Insomniacs leave people in a little bit longer to like let people catch the feel of it. And as a D lineman, I like and respect that. But you also give the O-line and the offense a chance to time you.
Yeah.
Time your release. Like figure out which edge is rushing faster so they can roll a certain way. The way Sick with it rolls their defensive line,
it's tough to tell.
You can't tell. No. Because not only will they change positions on the line, but they also rotate out so fast. You have a fresh guy in front of you every single down. That sucks.
That's going to wear them out. That's going to wear out some. You know, you think about it, and the one thing that I've always thought about when it comes to the NFL, the big boys playing offensive line, you know, they lean on the defensive players, and they try to wear the defensive players, especially when a team doesn't have a good defensive line, or they have some stars, but they only have 4. So they just lean on them by the end of the game. Guess what? Game over.
Whooped.
Because they can no longer hold their position.
No.
But you get a guy like Big Mac, You get a guy, some of these guys on Insomniacs that are just rotating.
Seiya is so filthy.
It's
Ben
crazy.
They're never tired.
No.
Shout out to Ben. I can't pronounce your last name.
Fourth quarter, they're still going strong.
Ben Killerman, that's what I call him. Ben Killerman. I can't pronounce his last name, but shout out to him too. He's a savage as well.
Yeah.
And he be out there breaking down film. So if you think that these teams are just kind of working out in the gym and you know what I mean, like just showing up ready, no, these guys got Instagram and TikTok's accounts where they're just breaking down film and running drills and teaching people how to play this game. Yeah. Not football, but A7s, American Sevens football. This is a whole different brand of athleticism. This isn't just regular shit. This is different.
Well, as we say, no helmet, no pads, all action.
And this is the game America wants. This is the game America needs. This is the game you could put on at any bar, at any lounge where anybody is hanging out, at any restaurant, and you're going to get people captivated. You will get people captivated by this. Talk to the people at your barbershop. Talk to the people at your gym. Talk to the people at the restaurant, the bar you hang out at, wherever it is the fuck you kick it at. Ask somebody. Tell them to put on the TV. Cox 125 and Fox 5.2. Tell them to put it on. It'll make it worth their while.
You will not be disappointed.
And not to mention, you get to hear KC, myself, and the Viking, have fun in the booth.
Yeah, you get to hear Casey mess up 17 names a game.
Somebody give Chris a mic.
Give me a mic down on the field.
You hear me mess up 17 names a game because some people don't know how to get.
We don't have rosters for like 4 teams. That's crazy.
Right.
Man, don't get me started.
Yeah,
look, I'm a little
That's
fucked
a sore
up now.
subject.
Yes, it is.
That's a very sore subject.
It's a sore subject for me too because I catch so much flack for y'all get our names wrong in the booth, and I'm like,
you confuse Stone Stevenson with Marcus Burton. Those are the two biggest. Stone Stevenson looks like a skinny, attractive Steven Seagal, and Marcus Burton looks like everybody's worst nightmare around their wife.
A skinnier Steven Seagal?
Yeah.
So
it's the hair, man.
You mean compared to where he is now, rather than when he first started in the movies? Gotcha.
Like Steven Seagal could eat Stone Stevenson right now.
Yeah.
Legitimately. No front kicks, just all jowls.
Or jabs.
Yeah, no, that's all bad. I'm
just
fucking with you, Casey. My bad. I'm a little drunk now.
What is the kind of bring this back to what we were talking about? Just going off on a tangent.
I'm good for tangents.
Our bottom 2 playoff teams.
Yes.
Man, fuck.
That could be
sucks.
A preview to what is the playoff games if our Vegas teams travel out to Los Angeles and beat them.
A full-strength OTT is walking through California right now. A full-strength OTT is walking through everybody in California.
A full-strength...
Including the Aces?
Fuck yes.
Okay.
A full strength
because Yodi J. Earl with that attitude coming off the line like that, they have the weight to stop him. And don't forget, G Herb will step in and play linebacker.
Yeah, that's true.
And he'll play running back too.
Titanium is strong with that.
You know what I mean? And like they never give up their cardio. Like it's like I don't know if they work cardio or if they just got so much heart they won't let it die. You know what I mean? But
maybe
like
a little bit of both.
They play it out to the end. You know what I mean? Like I love the swag of that team, and I dated the shit out of myself by saying that.
No, but all season long, they've played together. They play hard.
They not adding a bunch of players.
They don't have the hands on the shoulders showing frustration like other teams have. I mean, they will give you everything they have. They will leave their soul on the field, and they will play to the very bitter end. So I agree with Scotty. A full team in L.A.
Oh, yeah.
Not to mention, you're always one Savion Cunningham thrill return play away from winning a game.
Yeah, as long as you stay within a touchdown of them, you're within a touchdown of at least tying it up.
As long as you have number 8, and once he hits the sideline, it's just full speed ahead. You got a shot.
Yeah.
You got a shot.
They don't have a returner like that out there. They don't have the experience.
But I guess the one I saw was last week's where they dropped him to 8. It was the week before that. I guess they had him at 5.
No, last week they had him at.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I got the
but at 5 is disrespectful.
Right.
I got the top 10 from Corey.
Yeah. Well, because I just asked Matt because I was like, I know I saw a graphic floating around. Maybe it was one that somebody else made up. But I could have sworn that they said that they released this with Derek on the 3-on-1, and
he was on the podcast yesterday with them. Yes, he was.
And they did a top 10, I believe, and they had Sick. I want to say at number 8.
That's disrespectful. Anything other than 2 is disrespectful because the number 1 team in the nation only beat them by 3
points,
and they didn't have all their fucking players.
And
like, come the fuck
and
on.
Not just that,
they just now gelled.
Not
like,
just
and
that.
Granted, the Insomniacs are fucking on a roll too, but they aren't the same team that they were.
No.
But Jesus Christ.
And
dude,
the
like,
Insomniacs spotted them a 14-0 lead. And that's the part we keep forgetting. Sick was up 14-0. Because the first two drives,
somebody had them drop from 5 to 8
they
this
marched
week
down
that
the field.
I saw.
First two
Boy,
drives,
Casey's gonna get us all fucked up.
And you're just like,
Casey gonna get us all beat up. Look, J-Dot
Casey's gonna be like,
no, J-Dot gonna be here for his shit in a little bit, and he gonna fuck me up.
We're gonna be upset about this. We're gonna be upset about this, and then I'm gonna wind up getting a text from Corey or somebody saying, "Dude, they're actually still at 5," and we're gonna be like, "Yeah, okay, sorry, we didn't know. Disrespectful. We're just asking."
Shout out to Mark Gray,
no
J-Dot, Saya, everybody over there.
But okay, so move into the let's just take a look at these last games. You know, the last games of the season. I know we've been talking about them a little bit, but let's do a little bit more of a dive into them. And we've gotten to what, Kryptonite versus Force, and what's the last two games that we got?
Okay, so just to go through it again,
the Hunters.
First game starts at 1:30. It's Cicquid of the Hunters. That's the first game at 1:30.
and Hunters. Okay.
Second game is 4 p.m. slot. Kryptonite, Force, and OTT Insomniacs under the lights at 7.
OTT Insomniacs. All right. So, looking at that, a real question is seating set. We know that.
Yeah.
So, are we going to see teams rest players?
That's a very good question. That is a damn good question.
Just out of reality,
honestly,
are we going to?
Honestly, I think you could, out of somebody like the Insomniacs are sick with it, that have that little bit of leeway that they can give up. But I don't see that happening out of somebody like an OTT or a Hunters. Even though their seating is set, they feel they still need to prove something in Vegas.
Well, I mean, that's something that's a little bit different because I'm talking about some of these teams like, I mean, let's be real. Are we going to see everything we should from Kryptonite and the Force?
They better.
I mean, but I'm asking.
Then again, you still have to play sick or
exactly.
I don't believe.
Here's the thing.
I don't believe the Force is resting anybody.
Well, here's the thing.
That part, but Kryptonite though.
Here's the thing.
Kryptonite might, but I don't know.
Here's the thing. The Force and the Kryptonite are both 4-2. So in a sense, they're playing for the 3rd seed, which of course would give you a match with Cicquid.
No.
Rather than the Insomniacs.
But
is there truly a winner?
No.
But here's the thing: is like, who do you want to play? Like who you feel like you might have a better chance to survive against, for lack of a better term.
I have a better chance sitting on the couch not getting hurt.
Well, I mean, look, if there's something about that, right? Because we know that there's going to be little nagging injuries.
Right.
It's football.
Right.
We know that there's going to be guys, and they probably took this week off and really got their bodies feeling a little bit better coming into this last game of the season. But the question is, it's just a real question. You know, you get pulls, you know, you get sore this, sore that, broken this, broken that, fingers.
Here's what I will say.
So, I mean, hold on, just let me finish. Hear me out. So the thing about it is, when I sit there and I look at that, I've got to ask myself, are we really going to be looking at all these teams in this last game that are going to be playing all their players? And my answer to that, my simple answer to that is no. I really don't think we will. I think we're going to be seeing some teams rest some players, and I think we're going to see some teams that are going to try to get players ready to go for the playoffs, and rightfully so.
And what I was going to say, the reason I agree to that, there's 3 teams that I feel can afford to rest players this week if they're going to, and that's Cicquid, Insomniacs, and the Force, because they have the rosters and the depth to be able to rest players if they need to.
Absolutely.
Somebody like the Insomniacs, OTT, Hunters, they don't have the depth. They don't have the athleticism.
Insomniacs do have the depth.
I mean, the Hunters, the OTT, and the Kryptonite, they do not have the depth.
Well, hold on.
To do that.
You're also taking into consideration that we're not going to see all the players that Kryptonite have been missing over the season. Right. So if we do see all those players, they do have the depth.
Yeah, they do. They do.
They do have the depth. And
if they all show up, but we haven't yet seen them all show up.
And that's the same thing with OTT. If their whole roster shows up.
It's a broken record, though. We say if they show up. Right. At this point, we haven't seen them show up. We've said that for 4 weeks.
But again,
at this point, I'm going to say they're not going to, until they show up, I'm going to take it as if they're not going to show up.
But what's their record?
Right. But this week, they don't have that. They don't have that luxury to be able to rest players either.
Well, no, I get that. I get that. But what I'm saying, my bottom line for that is you had a team like Kryptonite that pretty much put their players together and didn't have their whole depth, right? We know that throughout the whole season.
Right.
Yet they were still able to go 4-2.
Right.
So are they going to I think they might hold on to what they've had over these last couple of weeks and keep showing that, and then in the playoffs bring back everybody that they've had on the roster that we've seen scattered so far. Right. Because I mean, look, Vince is
if they can hold on to what they have and figure out a way to win, then
everybody that needs to be there come playoff time.
Right.
So and that's what I was saying. My hats off to them for that.
It's that flag football mentality of once you get down to the nitty gritty, now you're playing for money.
Exactly.
So that money motivates them.
With that said, now I have a question. And even though the playoffs are not here yet, but if there is a dark horse, who is your dark horse in the playoffs?
For Vegas?
Yeah. Just simply for our division. Who's the dark horse?
You know, I think that because of us asking about the simple fact of what Kryptonite has and what they could be if they had everybody, I think they would have to be my dark horse. We know what the rest of the teams have. We know what the Force can be. We've seen it. We know what Insomniacs can be. We know what Sickwood it is. We've seen all that. The one question that, because of us asking all the time, are they going to have their players? The one team that to me could be the dark horse and can go out there and win would be Kryptonite. So I mean, we're also talking about a team that we can't forget was ranked in the top 10 nationally.
They were.
So, and the thing about it is they haven't been, no team has been able to keep them at 0. They've scored on everybody. So that's something else that, we really have to take a look at. And KJ comes back. We start looking at throw-offs. We start looking at everything. It changes the dynamic of what you have as a team. So if there's going to be a dark horse, that's mine.
I think they're always a dark horse. Between KJ and Lex Luthor, like, you can't
hold them down.
You really can't like count them out for anything. No. Like, man, Smooth is different.
He is.
Smooth will make some shit happen. Like he really will. And you'll think you'll have him, and he just throws a bomb out of nowhere for 60 yards and a tutty. Like that shit just fucking happens all the time. And you know what I mean? Like, that man don't work out. He don't do shit. Like he just like that. It's crazy, but you know what I mean? Like, at the same time,
as he gets older.
I think that like I don't know. I think they got a real shot at the Force, depending on who shows up. If their roster, and I fucking hate saying this shit, like that. This shit is so frustrating, bro. Like, as a player, like I could never play on a team where like people are just not showing up. Nah, right. Y'all don't want it like me. I could never. Nah.
It is what it is when you're talking about it too. But I mean, Del, that was a good question as to who's a dark horse, and
Kryptonite.
We've got to, but there's one team that we're really kind of not giving them their just due, and that is the Aces, because we really haven't seen them play against anybody else. Now, look, I love Scott, and I knew I'd get this out of him. I knew I'd get this out of him for one reason, because of him always exactly his thing of always Vegas teams. But I had to say it because I'm like no, I want to see. But hold on, Scotty. Part of me is like, I just want to piss him off and see what he says.
Yeah, man.
You just want to unleash passion out of him. That's what it is.
Yes. Bro. They got one boy that runs the ball.
Okay.
They got one man that runs the ball. They ain't got shit else.
Okay.
They don't. Nobody in the country, and I mean this with everything in my fucking soul, nobody in the country has anything for not one D-line out of Las Vegas, let alone all of the D-line talent we have. Y'all don't have not one in the country that can touch our top 5. And our top 5's bottom 2 aren't even that good.
That might not be a bad topic to bring into this within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I was getting ready
ranking players
to go into.
I got a list for you. I got one.
I think, as far as the 2 games other than the Kryptonite and the Force, I think those other 2 games we pretty much have those are going to be they're going to go how they go. I don't believe there's any need to beat those dead horses and even try to come with a way other than say sick with it or the Insomniacs rest half their roster. And then maybe then it's a competitive game more than what anybody would think. But I think those games, like Scott said, goes the way we think they would go. Yeah. So going out east real quick before we decide to start wrapping this thing up. Okay. Looking at the Florida division, he said, Dub said the Nightcrawlers have the orange. The last time they played, they beat them 60 to 20.
That's a lot to a little.
Yeah. And get this. And now does Ohio have a little bit of an advantage because Ohio's the only division this week without a game before playoff time.
Well, what kind of advantage? They still got to play each other.
No, I think they're off.
They're off this week.
No, what I'm saying is they still got to play each other for the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I can't. Yeah. You just had 1 week off, so now you're going to have 2 weeks off.
Right.
And then you got to go right back into playing in the playoffs.
Yep.
I mean, most teams and most coaches would tell you they don't want 2 weeks off.
No, you want your bye. Off, you want your bye like 2 weeks away from playoffs. Yeah. That way you can get some rest going into the playoffs. You know everybody's healthy, but you're still warm and fresh and fresh on the ball. Like you don't want that. You don't want. But Midwest is built different. Right. Like I was born in Detroit. Like I ain't got nothing. Man, look.
But looking at nagging,
nobody or nothing from Ohio. But
looking at the nagging you know what shoulder,
I mean? Like, I'm a Michigan fan.
The nagging shoulder, the nagging calf, the nagging thigh, the little nagging injuries that we were talking could happen. Now these guys have that extra week to let that heal. So now maybe their guys are 100%.
Yeah, sometimes that second week feels worse.
Yeah, but I mean, all that. Look. We can say what we want about injuries. Yeah, the fact of the matter is, if you have an injury like you're saying, nagging injury, pulled calf, we'll go with that. And you've got that 2 weeks off. Yeah, you can start rehabbing and starting to feel a little better and maybe get a player or 2 back.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, those 2 weeks off, have they practiced? You know,
that you don't know.
Have they practiced at game speed?
Yeah,
because the thing about it is any player that has played will tell you the biggest thing and biggest problem that you have is when you have those times off, if you don't do anything, you start to look rusty. Yeah. You come out looking rusty, and it takes you a quarter to really get things moving again. So
one thing we know about the teams we're sending out there, don't give them a quarter.
No.
They'll fuck around and shut the game down.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
We done seen 40 points in a quarter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
so,
we have.
Man, go ahead and give our boys a quarter. Go ahead.
But see what I'm saying is that by having that time off.
Because some people may look at that as
a
little bit of an
advantage, kind of.
Because you have that extra week now. Those players that may not have been healed in time in a week, now they got that extra week, and now you've got that. Who knows? They might have it. We don't know what. There's not a lot of film on Ohio. I mean, let's be honest. There's not a lot of film on Ohio, so we don't know exactly what all they.
Good.
Yeah,
it is. The film that I've seen looks damn good.
The film we've seen looks good, but they don't have a whole lot of it, so we don't know a whole lot of their players and what they have.
I think
we don't know what they're dealing with in the way of injury. We don't know what 2 weeks for. That might be one of their big key players that may end up making the difference.
But
in
Scott,
2 weeks.
with that, what you just said with they've got really good players. Would you say that they would be very competitive against the East Coast?
No.
No, but they'd be competitive out here, except for our top 2.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I think if you bring the Heist out here,
yeah,
they're not where they're at now.
We put the Heist at what, 15?
Yeah.
Last week?
Yeah.
So I mean, when we start to look at those things and you know, I kind of paid attention to some of those teams.
My list was vastly different from yours. My shit was off.
There was a few things that I did take into consideration. I did notice, and that is, who did you play?
Yep.
Right. So I mean, if you were from a weak conference and there was a team that was head and shoulders above the rest of the teams, I couldn't exactly put you high on there because. Yeah. When I'm looking at you, I'm like, okay, but who have you played?
Yeah, that's
you know.
Me and you kind of have that same mindset when looking at our list.
You're playing the same team twice.
Yeah,
we got a couple of those.
That's why I put the Heist at 17 on my list, because I was like, you really have only played Ohio, and there's really one team head and shoulders above
the Aces have played one
in Ohio. Yeah,
the Aces have played one, and they got to fucking 10.
Yeah, And I put the Vibe in at 20 because they've only played.
Heist could walk into Cali.
They only
and
played
walk
one team, and that was a Cali team. So
let's
I'm
look
start
at
some bad blood with the California.
let's look
I'm
at,
not even trying to. Like, I'm just saying, like, y'all will get there because one thing California has is speed. They have speed and they know how to play football. So once they get the players and the athletes out there that like start stealing from the semi-pro and all that, they'll have the athletes. Right now, they ain't got it. So they got one guy that can run the ball. That's it.
Said the same thing.
Also, out east right now, the one-seeded Watchmen have the Snow Tribe this weekend.
Dangerous game.
Yeah, it is. Have you seen that the Snow Tribe's running back?
Yes.
Big dude.
Oh,
yeah.
Big man with football.
I was gonna say that's got to be one of AW's favorite players. It's got to be.
Big man with football.
That almost reminded me of Seau with football.
Yes, he got some sweet feet. That man can move.
I want to see what Seau's 40 is.
Yeah,
that's got to be a 4.6 40. That man was flying.
That man can move, man. When I was watching that game, I was like,
that was nuts.
Man.
Bro.
And then I
was just sitting there thinking about coming off the edge and trying to hit that.
No,
that's gonna hurt.
That's
dislocated
hurt somebody.
You will definitely make a business decision on that one.
Yes.
Oh no!
Re-injure
I'm
your
die on my shield, sir. I will die on my shield.
No, I'm not talking about you, Scott. I know you will go all out.
I'm gonna take that truck stick with pride.
I'm not questioning you.
He'll re-tear that hernia open.
He gets stepped on in the process. His big ass.
And you gotta be careful because when he trucks you, he's got them feet just to step on you going over you.
No, I know you will bring the bridge of Asgard. Trust me. Trust me on that.
So and then of course we discussed the Buzz are not going to be playing the BIC, but that was the matchup. The Buzz versus BIC supposed to be a big matchup, not going to be. We know that.
That sucks.
The 3-seeded U have the toughest game against the Renegades. And
I think the Renegades are spicy.
And by the way, the U is Derek's
spicy.
favorite team to come out of the East.
This year?
This year.
Really? Interesting.
Okay.
See, I kind of, watching the different teams play, I kind of like Watchmen.
I do too.
I mean,
Watchmen I think
BIC
can wear everybody down.
They can make some noise.
That's my point. Yeah, they wear you down.
Either the Watchmen or the BIC is my pick, just because they wear people down. And once after the end of that grueling schedule that they got. Dude,
oh boy!
I think it's just the run game of that. That's gonna work.
To go different. Since you're gonna go Watchmen, that was gonna be who I would go with as kind of the team to watch out east would be Watchmen. Let's go kind of middle tier. Watch out, Silk City. The attitude they play. Oh my lord!
But at the same time, they walked a bunch of trash teams and then played some good teams and got walked.
Look.
So,
they did, but they've got
come the playoffs. Everybody's 0-0.
Yeah. Come playoffs, it's 0-0, and they've got some damn good talent on that side of the ball. If they all, it's kind of one of those rosters where if they all show up and play,
that's a problem.
That's a problem, and nobody's going to walk through them.
So let's ask this: who's the dark horse back east? Who is your dark horse?
My dark horse, honestly, I would say is Silk City.
The Animals?
Yeah.
We'll see. Because
I think they have the harder road through the playoffs, but I think they could pull one of them upsets off and end up being that dark horse.
Okay. Actually, now that I think about it, they are kind of down low in the rankings right now.
Yeah, they're kind of middle of the shit off. Yeah, they're middle of
some shit off.
All right, I'm gonna go outside out of all three of you and say the Renegades.
That's a close one. I think they got got some shit.
If I've got to look at a dark horse team that is playing well right now, it's the Renegades.
Right.
So, I mean, down me for it. I'm still.
No,
I'm not going on Facebook. I don't want to see any of their comments right now.
I don't think anybody's going to argue that though, because if you watch film, they got something.
Yeah.
As the old cliche goes, a motivated team is a very dangerous team.
Yes.
Well, a team playing like they have nothing to lose.
But if you're saying that though, Patterson U being ranked number 3 going into the playoffs is pissed.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're pissed.
They are.
And a pissed off Patterson U is not something to play with.
No,
but you know
not
what?
At all.
Let's take a step back and say, hey, that's great. They're all playing. They could beat each other up on the East Coast. I'm good. I
love
it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Beat the hell out of each other.
I want to see the best games of the country coming out of the East Coast.
Come back to Bullhead City, battered and bruised, please.
And like I said last week, man, we're going to
going
to the river.
No.
I'm taking everybody to the river. I'm going to go ahead and get
I don't want them battered and bruised.
No, we don't.
And I'll tell you why.
No, we want them at their best.
I don't want any excuses.
We don't want excuses, yeah.
Because if we wind up beating them,
it's going to be excuses either way.
If we wind up beating them, I don't want to hear a damn thing. I put up with their BS on their podcast. And I listen to all the bullshit. Well, guess what? If we wind up winning, oh yeah, I'm gonna talk my shit. Guarantee
no
that.
Shit. Yeah, no.
Guarantee.
He's going to talk with immense pride.
Man, that they kind of did. They did you foul.
Like I said, with immense pride.
I'm gonna talk serious shit.
Oh, I am too. Like that's.
But so, do we want to pick games out east?
Sure.
Let's cue it up, see what we got, and let's go around the horn and
Snow Tribe first.
Watchmen and Snow Tribe. I'll go first because I picked Watchmen, and I'm gonna pick Watchmen to beat Snow Tribe. And watching a film on both, I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say Watchmen by 21 versus Snow Tribe.
Watchmen by 12.
Okay.
Watchmen big.
Yeah. I would say Watchmen's going to try to do something here. I think they're going to go big. I'm not going to say. I say 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, big. Not huge, but big.
That's big. That's big.
Next game.
The next game would be the U and the Renegades, because BIC and Buzz are not playing.
Scotty, go ahead and kick this one off.
Wait, hold on. What was it? I spaced out. My bad, squirrel.
The U and the Renegades, squirrel.
This is a rough one, man. Look, you know what? I'm gonna say the U by 2.
U by 2.
U by 2. Just because I think the Renegades are that dark horse, and they're gonna give the U the best shot going into the playoffs. Like, just really trying to show, like, oh yeah, we here for you. It's gonna be a quick like check jab just on the way in. Like, oh, I'm here. You're going to feel this for the rest of the day.
I think in the end, the run game for the U will wear down the Renegades, but I think it would be. I got the U.
Yeah, I definitely have the U, 2 touchdowns.
Make it simple. I got the U by 8. Next game?
The next game, I believe, is the Nightcrawlers in the orange.
Dub, you're up.
Nightcrawlers until you beat them. I got them.
Yeah. Nightcrawlers probably by another 40 because they're looking to make a statement moving into the playoffs, I think.
I'm going to say Nightcrawlers. I think they're going to beat them by 30.
Nightcrawlers by 36.
36. All right.
Oh, he put a number out there.
Right?
Yeah. I don't know. I love watching their film, dude. They're good.
Nightcrawlers are a good team.
They're good.
All right. So we go to the battle of Nevada versus California.
Right. Here we go.
So what's the first team? I'll kick it off. We're just going to keep going around.
Let's go Aces versus the Pitbosses.
I'm going to take Aces. Chuck, I'm going to take Aces by 12. Actually, no. I'm going to take Aces by, in reality, I'll take Aces by 12. I'm being serious.
I'm going to say K Uno shows up and Bosses by 6.
The upset. I like it.
I'm going to say a slight edge to the Aces. I think the Pitbosses will give them hell.
I just can't say it out loud.
But I think the Aces edge one out barely.
Okay. Case?
K Uno shows up is different.
Yeah, if K Uno shows up, it's different. But I think there's other players that might show up. Again, this is a team now ran by Coach Q. He's done some building. I talk to Coach Q quite often. I know what he's kind of working on and what he's got going over there. I feel like Pitbosses by 6 wouldn't be a surprise.
Okay. Next game
would be the Gold and Vibe.
Scott, your turn. Kick it off.
Gold and the Vibe is Jeremiah. I'm sorry, bro, but I think the Vibe get their first win.
I was going to say that's kind of where
Vibe.
Are the Vibe digging gold 6, or the Gold digging it?
Vibe by 6
in Santa Monica.
Vibe by 6, but it's going to be like a weird score. Like it's going to be by extra points. Somehow it's going to be by extra points, and we can't even kick field goals.
Interesting.
Like I don't understand how it's going to happen.
Interesting.
Safeties, 6 points, all safeties.
It's going to be like 19
no
to 25.
Offensive scores. That's what I'm saying.
It's going to be like 19 to 25.
Yeah, man, it's going to be the oddest game we watch. I think it's going to be some fun.
Dub, what do you got? Let's not let this get too far out of control now.
Oh fuck. Oh. I'm sorry. I love you guys, but goddamn, y'all suck. I'm sorry. Fuck. I'm not supposed to talk like that. I love you guys.
Until I see consistency from the gold. If I'm still seeing spurts, the Vibe's going to get the win. I need to see consistency from the gold. That's what I need.
Well, here's my thing. In order for the gold to pull this off, they've got to not fight with themselves.
Exactly.
The internal fighting has been what's killed them.
Amen.
And we just seen a Vibe team newly stocked that went and put 30 up against the Aces.
Mm-hmm. Against a good defense. Against a defense that knows how to play A7 at least.
I love my Vegas teams. I'm the Vegas play-by-play broadcaster. I have to kind of stay unbiased and love all my teams, even though some will say that I'm the right ass cheek of certain teams. But I'm just saying.
Sorry, I'm the left ass cheek.
Right. But
what a pair we make.
Stop it.
At least that was when Bartley ran that team. That's what we were known as.
Look,
but I will say that it's going to be a hard day for the gold, and I think the Vibe are going to pull that one off by probably 12.
All right, so I guess this leaves it to me. I'm going to put the Vibe by 30.
God, damn, why does that sound accurate? God damn it.
All right.
Let's go force kryptonite now.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, in case you go first.
I'll go first.
2, 4, and 2 teams playing for Innocence. This is to be the 3 seed overall.
Yeah.
So who you got?
Man, this one's tough. But I'm going to have to go with the way I really think it's going to be. I think the Force is going to get it by 2 points. It's going to be an extra point game.
Well, I think after this break, I think that they get Smooth back for Kryptonite. I think they get a couple of other players back. And I am going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say Kryptonite by 4.
Oh. Going the lone wolf route.
Nah, I was going to say... I don't know, because I have it. I'm gonna say that everybody shows up, and I'm gonna say Kryptonite wins by 2, and it's gonna be nothing but returns. It's gonna be Iquan, KJ, like Zach, like it's gonna be returns and deep, but it's gonna be a battle. I'm saying like 100 points combined, but whoever wins by 2.
Derek predicted a Force win on Sunday as well, by the way.
Dub, what you got?
I just think the run game of the Force is going to be too much.
It's going to be a lot.
Reek. You got Cheddar.
Yeah.
You got Big Boy Walters when he decides he wants to run the ball, and you got Rogers.
And that's how you wear out. That's how
Morales.
That defense.
That's a four-headed monster. Because
and you got a Morales, honestly, that if they wanted to, they could put it back there if somebody gets injured.
They can use him too, and plus, if they decide...
Kryptonite have added Fika.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
This is true. Fika's saucy.
But not to mention, there's Mr. Jones. I can go over the top to Mr. Jones also. But I just think
a lot of fucking weapons.
Yes.
But I just think for the
too many for the Kryptonite. I think at the end of the day for the Kryptonite,
I just think for the Force, I think they're predicated off the run game, and I think their run game sets up everything.
I did Lone Wolf.
I said Kryptonite by 2 just because of the return. Because you got to throw the ball off every time.
That is why.
And if KJ shows up, if KJ shows up, it's a different game. If KJ's out,
that's why I said Force by 2 though, because there's at the end of the day, I believe there's just too many weapons on that Force team for the Kryptonite to actually honestly be able to deal with.
Game on the line, extra point on the line. I take Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
over Rock.
Let's
Lex Luthor over Rock.
Well, let's not kill this game too much by talking so much about it.
That real quick,
what's the next one though?
Fox.
The first game
put Fox in and not Rock, and then where do you go? Fox can pull that 2-point conversion.
Yes,
I pick Lex Luthor and Zach because they're gonna play the sack at the backstab.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Who you
it's gonna be a good one.
No, this game is really gonna be a game of chess. It's which move that's gonna be the one move that puts them over the top. I really believe that. But to the first game of the day, Hunters Sick-Witted at 1:30.
Ouch. Is it my turn?
Yep.
I think it is your turn to lead off. Yes.
Wow. I'm picking the upset. Hunters over no. I can't even do that with a straight face. And don't get me wrong, man. I like the Hunters. I think that they are really coming along, and I think that their coach Ray is really starting to put those guys in positions to make plays. But I think that the Sick-Witted is just has too much.
Yeah.
They just have too much. I mean, it's something when you have 2 building teams play each other. But let's face it, one's built and the other one's building. So I'm just difference. Yeah, and I'm just gonna say it flat out. I think that Sickwit is gonna put this away by halftime.
Yeah,
and I think that Mark starts to rest some players.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I can't give it a score because I don't know who he's going to rest in the second half or anything like that. But let's just say it's he'll get up by a substantial amount and let it go.
Yeah. Third quarter, it's over with.
Yep.
Of course, I'm picking E40's record label.
Yeah, right.
That's just the Vallejo, California in me.
Yeah.
E40's record label.
That really is the name. That really is the name of his record label. Sickwit Records. Yeah. Although it's SICC, not SI.
Right.
CK.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right. And I believe that too. I think.
Mercy rule over in the third.
I'm not going to go against what Scotty said.
Mercy done by the third, by the end of the third. Has to be.
Wow.
And then the nightcap.
Insomniacs and OTT.
Insomniacs and over the top.
Oh, we're going to bed early.
Oh, guess what?
I think this one will be. Yeah.
We're going to bed early.
You're up first.
Yeah, we're going to bed early.
But that's not picking the game.
Yeah, it is. Insomniacs, Mercy.
Okay.
He said
they just don't have the depth.
He says we're going to bed early, courtesy of Fox 5.2 and Cox 125.
Well, I mean, they like to keep us on there.
They're going to bed. Those teams are going to bed early.
Yeah,
Scott said we ain't. We're in the booth until 9:30 probably.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Well, I'll miss you guys this weekend since I won't be there.
Oh,
anyway.
So what do you got?
Are you going to California?
What do you got there, Dub?
This saddens me.
Well, I got to finish. I got to make my pick, and of course I got to go with the Insomniacs.
Yeah,
I think like Scotty, like you said, there's just too much. Yeah. There's just too much.
OTT won't quit.
Nope.
They'll give you everything they got.
Everything.
Still not enough because the Insomniacs are just too deep.
Yes.
I got the number one seed.
I hate to say it, but I feel this one, like Scott said, being over. I feel this one being kind of like that Sickwit game.
Mm-hmm.
Sickwit game where they, it was a 96-38 or 92-38, something like that.
92
like,
points.
I feel like that would be about where it'd be. It's going to be a.
Hey, do we have any? Since we're live, do we have anything from Facebook? Any questions?
I mean, not a whole lot.
Or is it just a lot of stink faces?
Kind of.
There hasn't been a whole lot of anything.
It's a whole lot of Insomniacs and Sick are going to run the West. Force's ass is one comment I got. And then
keep in mind that was somebody else that said that. That was not Scott that said.
Man, look, you hold whatever you want to me. I'm reading off the paper. This is funny.
Yeah. So, parting shots.
Parting shots. Hey, everybody should have a great weekend out there. Good luck to all the teams. Have fun. Stay safe. I hope nobody gets any injuries. Let's just show what Vegas is made out of when we're in California.
All right. And man, look, much love to everybody. Stay safe. Stay ready. And I hope you're ready for this ass whooping because this Vegas D line is coming.
What do you got, Dub?
Down the stretch we come. Playoffs, here we come. And also looking forward to seeing Devin Haney against Lomachenko this upcoming Saturday in the ring.
Nice.
And for me, I can't wait to call these games. It's going to be exciting. 3 games this week in Vegas.
Can we just ask Scott one more time? Are you sure you don't want to tell us who you're playing with?
No. Look, I will say that
I just had to.
I am going to make my announcement in the playoffs.
Okay.
In the playoffs, I will make my announcement.
And I think
I'm gonna save it for the show. I won't say it on there during the game, but I'll save it for the show. I'm contemplating whether I'm gonna do the championship or not, but I'm pretty sure my head and my heart are set. Let's go.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
Well, so, there you have it.
For me, I'm excited to call. I'm excited to call these games. I'm excited for the playoffs to get started. For me, I am KC Cox. That's Dub. Alvarez, Scott the Viking McCorkle.
Let's go.
Chris Veira, the division manager. I am KC Cox. This is The Other Side of the Ball. Until next time, we will see you on the other side of the ball.
Gang, gang.
Yee.